But I like to be treated like a princess, though.
This is what I was gonna say. This is exactly where I was gonna go. I was gonna go. All right. So you don't want to be get out of my face. All right. So you want to be independent. So what is it that you want from? You know what I'm saying this is my public service, and this is my public service to whoever's gonna view this now. So what is it that you want from a potential man? So it's not gonna be, you might want, you'll accept gifts, you'll accept nice treatment, you'll accept romance, you believe in love and all of these things, but like on the ground, like logistically, what do you want to be led?
What I
You
want.
don't want to be led, or do you want to be led?
No, I need a leader. Leadership is important. Leadership is important. No, but this is what I'm saying, and this is what I'm saying to you. But I had to tell you where my mentality was at the age of 24.
Okay.
And because you asked me, because remember the question was, did seeing your mom as a single mother and doing that made me become a stronger person. That made me want to make sure that I had everything in check and be educated and have a career and have my own money. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's something that I would tell my daughter to do. But when you are in a partnership, you have to learn how to be in a partnership. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So that is when it's process. Like I said, you have to learn to submit to each other. You have to learn, you as a woman need to learn to submit to a man. And there's times that your man also needs to submit, because remember, the man might be the driver on the seat, but the woman is the sat nav. You understand?
Right.
So
and neither is more important
so
than the
in a
other.
way, like when you exactly, so you need, it's like you say, it's understanding that. So in terms of leadership, I'm because of my personality and who I am as a woman, I need a man to take leadership and be the man, the household of, be the father, be the husband. You need that leadership because we all play roles. Do you understand? So I have to play that role for that man when I need to be, and he needs to play that role as a man. And it's like you said, it's understanding that formula. If you take that formula into a marriage, it would work if you both understand it. So when I say taking lead, of course, because I'm a leader, and I'm a born leader naturally. So I need the man that I'm with to be a born leader naturally, and we both need to learn how to position ourselves when we're in that relationship and know what works for us. That's what I'm trying to say. So I remember, dating someone that was very, I hate the word passive, but I didn't feel like that person to lead us.
Say it, soft.
And it wasn't soft in a sense, because you can be someone that's very soft spoken, but you still take leadership on things. You still are assertive. Like, I want to know, like, I want that zeal, like, because I'm someone that I fight for things, not just materialistic things. But if something had to happen within our lives, I need to know that you've got my back. I need to know that you're going to fight for us. I need to know this. Do you get what I mean? Because I am that woman. So what I want ultimately in a partner is more of a reflection of who I am. I will never ask or never seek. I will never seek or find someone that I know that I don't compensate the same thing. That makes any sense. Like, I know not to be big-headed, but boy, blame God, because God just made me fall in love with myself. I was just like, damn, God, that's me. God was like, that's you, my child. I was like, damn, okay. So when I found myself, by God's grace, I was able to kind of see myself in a different light. I ended up falling in love with myself. I ended up really, taking in that journey. So for me, I see myself as a jackpot ticket. And I know it might seem like, girl, you're a bit, you have to love yourself that way.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, because it's not even just about physicality. I'm talking about the substance of a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I bring to the table. So I know if I'm bringing that to the table, I need someone to bring in the same thing. Because if you was going into a business with someone and you was investing in something and you brought £1 million to the table, that person bought £50, you'd be looking at that person and be like, G, what are you doing?
Straight up.
Do you get what I mean? So relationships are investments. They're emotional investments.
Facts.
So if you're going into a relationship, you have, you're looking for someone, you have to have the person that one has find a person with the same vision that you have, and someone that wants to invest in the same way that you want to invest. And that's literally downhand what I'm sort of looking for. Like, I need to know that person, because obviously, you have the fundamental things, you want someone that's God-fearing, family orientated, and good work ethic, and all of that, and all of those are the elements of the character that you want within that person. And funny enough, through going through my dating life and dating people, sometimes I've had people that on paper, they tick all my boxes. They're like, oh gosh, she's God-fearing. Oh, he's family orientated. Oh, he likes the gym. Oh, he, you know what I mean? Like, he's funny, haha. All of these things that you look for in a person. But sometimes you might they look good on paper, but when your energies meet, it just doesn't connect. And you're like, how that? So sometimes it's easier said than done, because other people are, Ariete, I don't understand why are you still single? Yeah. I'm like, listen, I can get a man tomorrow, but I don't want to get a man for the sake of getting a man. Like, so I'd rather be, sometimes lonely and sad than be in a relationship than sad. Because at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship, you have to take on other people's energies. I don't want that. Thank you. So I want to just focus on myself, because at least if I'm by myself, I know that I can focus on me. I know that the energy, I can put my energy in whatever I want to put, and even like, be successful in different areas. I want to be successful until God places me with my king, and and so forth.
Let me ask you something. Sorry, go on. No, I was just going to say.
I'm finished.
Do you think that the longer that you are single, it makes it harder for you to then incorporate somebody else into your life, or for you to then incorporate into somebody else's life? Is that a thing?
I don't think that. No, I don't think that at all. I feel like if you get too comfortable being by yourself, because sometimes it's good to learn to. I feel everyone. That's why when I and I told this to everyone. Because I remember this guy was like, he broke recently, like a few months with his girl, and he was already, he wanted to pursue something with me, and I'm like, I think you need to take time. And this is not just one. I think I've met quite a few, actually. Not just because he's the first person that just came in my head recently. But I've had guys in the past that been in very, very long-term relationships, or been from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship to another relationship. And then they're coming to me, and I'm like, take time, my G, because I feel like, no, because I genuinely believe that people need to take time to find themselves, because I feel like you've just been in space, you just invested, with someone for a period of time. Now you've come out of that space. You like from going from one space to another space, for me, without no gap of you actually just taking time just to kind of find yourself again, even if it's for like 6 months or a couple of months, just to kind of get into your your balance. And I just feel like that section is so important, because I feel like it stops you from transferring your previous energy to another relationship.
That's powerful,
that energy.
Definitely agreed.
So what was the question again?
Do you think
I lost myself.
Yeah, do you think that
yeah, no, I don't think, I'll tell you what's the problem, and I'll be very honest with you, and this is more a female than a men's problem. The older you get, it's not necessarily the fact that you get more. No, I'm also be open to love till the day I'm 100 years old. Yeah, because like I said, I love love, innit? But I just feel that the problem is the race, I suppose, or the anxious feeling of like, oh Lord, bless me with, is to do with children. Honestly,
okay.
For example, if I set my mind today, I said to myself, you know what, I don't want to have any children. I'm happy with one. Thank God I got one. I'm happy with that one. I don't want to have any children. I can hands down say I wouldn't really care if I have a man in the next year or 10 years. It would be nice, don't get it twisted, but there wouldn't be a feeling of like, of wanting it within a certain time.
Yeah, yeah.
With women, the reason why is because we biologically, scientifically can't have children. I mean, we can have children till we're 50, but let's be realistic. It's the likelihood, do you understand? So the longer you wait to your 40s, the more complication there will be. You can get, obviously, in about 10 years, I can still have kids in my 40s, but the likelihood will be like I might have to go through my IVF. It's just a lot.
Yeah,
for a woman's body, I think that's really the main factor. I can tell you, I honestly feel if children weren't a factor and women were able to have healthy pregnancies, healthy children, and be able to get pregnant with no problems when they're in their 40s, for example, or even late 40s, then I'm telling you that people, like women, wouldn't really give a shit like that. Do you understand? So the pressure comes more from when you're trying to build a family. So right now, I still want 2 more kids. Do you understand? I want 2 more kids. I'm in my early 30s, but I know that, people are like, oh, you're right, or whatever, not now, but it's not long till I'm in my mid-30s. And then from my mid-30s, I'm in my late 30s. And, I'm like, damn, like, God, I am waiting now. It's been 4 years now, come on now. So, as much as you're patient, but the at the back of your mind, it is because you want to still build, you still want to have children. If I didn't want to have children, I wouldn't really care how long, whether it was in 10 years or a year's time that my king came. But when you do want to build a family with someone, unfortunately for women, we're more under that pressure clock to kind of get it more quickly. That makes any sense? That's the only factor that plays. That's the only factor that plays. The only factor.
But that to me sounds like something that would spill out into your behavior, spill out into your expectations. It would kind of almost strip away the organicness and the authenticness of a meeting of the minds or a meeting of people. Do you understand? Because now you're, as an emotional being, as somebody who loves love, is in touch with their emotions and all of these things. Now you're moving into the other side of the brain, and now you're moving into like the logical realm, and now you're trying to tick list, and now you're trying to like quantify stuff instead of qualifying stuff. Do you understand? So I feel like that's a issue that should be addressed. And like you said, balance is the key, definitely. But
there's a lot of truth what you said, and a lot of women. I'm telling you now that I know people that got with someone based. Oh shit! Well, I was gonna say too much, but basically, I know someone.
Yeah,
I know someone. Or they're my friend. They're friends of they're friend of a friend. But
oh gosh,
that got into a relationship because they just wanted to. Because I think she was in mid-30s, going. She was like 35, going on 36. But she started becoming anxious because she didn't have no children. So she couldn't, and so she just ended up finding a person who she felt like would have been a good father, not necessarily someone that she necessarily loved or was in love with, but someone that was okay in a way. Okay in terms of like he could potentially be a great father, and end up having a child with him based on the fact that she just wanted to have children with someone. She just wanted to have children.
Yeah.
And I feel like, as much as I understand that, at the same time, I do feel that's quite selfish, because you're thinking about your own needs and not necessarily the child's needs.
Facts.
Because when you're thinking like, oh my days, I want a child, and then you just end up having a child for this because you need it, and then now the father of the child is not in that, which just happened. The father of the child is not really in the child's life like that, but she genuinely doesn't care. Like, she actually does not care whether he's involved. Because in a way, because in her mind, she provides everything for the child, isn't it? She's very well off. She's got money. She's got a house. She's financially stable. So in her mind, she goes, everything that I can get my child, I can give my child. But sometimes women forget that a father is a need in your child's life.
Mate, I'm so glad I didn't need to say that.
Yeah,
make it plain.
100% is a need. Yeah, no, 100%. Fathers are very important. Mothers and fathers are very important.
Definitely.
So, but people, that's what I'm saying. So it's about having, don't lose yourself in that. Because for me, it's like I'm happy and blessed that at least being able to have a child. So it's whatever God wants for me. So if I'm in my 40s, so for example, don't tell me it's going to take that long, Lord. But let's say, for example, it reaches, I'm in my 40s now. Oh, happy 40th. And my king has not yet arrived. I'm like, damn, Lord, really? Oh, and he hasn't not yet arrived. And I can't have children. Then it is what it is. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So I can fulfill, it is what it is. I'm just happy that at least I had a child, and I've been blessed with that. So at least, that's my peace of mind compared to other women, maybe. So maybe for someone maybe that doesn't have kids, there will be more on that. Where I have already a child, to me, is not as important, maybe. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, and to a certain extent, babe, like if I was that, thinking in that logical or in that race, I would have been in a relationship right now.
That's it. Speak your gangstership. Go on.
I'm not trying to be. I'm just being truthful. I'm being very truthful, babe. I generally had opportunities. Don't lack. I reckon they don't. But you can't. I think there's so many, and
oh gosh,
I'm just saying there's so many. But it's just like I am not trying to settle.
I hear that.
You get what I mean?
Definitely.
That's it. I'm just not trying to settle. And people are like, oh, Ariete, before you know it, you're going to be 35. And when you turn 35 in your mid-30s, you're going to lower your value, your standards and all of that. And for me, I'm like, I won't. Because I want to have long-lasting happiness. I don't want to have, you know what I mean? Like a short thrill. You know what I mean? I don't want something to be like, or just be in it for the sake of being it, because I don't want to have a trophy husband. So I can tell everybody, hey, hello everybody, this is my husband. I don't want that. I want a life partner. I want someone that I can build with. I want someone that I could grow old with. I want someone that, do you understand? That is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a trophy, because otherwise I could have got a trophy long time. I could have got a rich man long time. Do you understand? It's just,
I hear you. I hear you. I do. I hear you. Okay, what about forgiveness? How would you define forgiveness?
Forgiveness is medicine to your soul.
Okay.
A lot of people need to understand, because a lot of people are like, Ariete, but not. Like, don't get it twisted. Forgiveness, I always say forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It doesn't mean that you have to open your heart or your life, open yourself, allow people to return back into your life, especially people that still remain toxic, or people that they're not in the same level, energy or spiritual wise. Do you understand? So those people that, you've left because you've elevated yourself mentally and spiritually, you don't want those people to come back into your life, because those people are the same people that would bring you down to their level. However, it's also part of healing, spiritual healing, when you forgive people. That's why people say when you forgive, you don't forgive for them, you forgive for yourself. And it's easier said than done, because I had to, a lot of people hurt me that I never knew would have hurt me. And usually like, it's almost like the devil likes to use the closest people around you to really get to you, because then he knows your character. So he knows like a stranger will never get to me, he'll get to my heart. But he knows other people around you, because when I love, he knows when I love hard. So the best way is to be around people that you thought kind of like had a sense of care and love. So they will, that's the people that will be used against you in a certain way. So, which is sad, but it happens all the time. So I feel like forgiveness, when you think about forgiveness, you have to think about, okay, because when you have, resentment, and when you have hatred against someone, it's energy.
Yeah.
It's energy that you are holding in your spirit, and you're holding, so you're there moving on, but you still got this connect, because when you have that energy, you're still somewhat connected to that person, emotionally connected, because you haven't been able to cut that energy off. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So as much as you be like, oh, I've cut that person, blah blah blah, because you haven't forgiven them, you're still holding their energy, because remember, they impacted your life. So you're holding that negativity, that energy within you. So when you forgive, that's when you kind of like letting go of that energy.
Okay.
And that's when you're really cutting those type of, like cutting them people in your life, because you really let go of everything. And then you basically have to remind yourself, and this is what I had to remind myself in my person. I had to say, Ariete, you can't, okay, you can be mad. Let me not use that word, but you can't expect someone to respect you when they don't respect themselves. You can't expect someone to love you when they don't love themselves. And when you really start looking at the people that have hurt you and analyze them as a human being, majority of those people are people that have a journey of a selfish journey. They don't respect themselves. They're doing the most, they're on a different level. And and one thing I've learned is, like, you can only meet people as deep as they meet themselves. You know, as much as you try to, you know, get them to, you know, wow, because sometimes, remember, our expectation comes from how we are as human beings. So my expectation comes from how I treat you, so I expect you to treat me the same way. So when someone doesn't do that, then we're like, what's going on here? But you can't, it's almost like you have to be wary of that and kind of learn. And that's one, so I'm not, sorry, because I feel like I'm going to go on and on and on. But what I'm basically trying, the point I'm trying to make is forgiveness is medicine to your soul, it's healing. And it takes time. So I might be here preaching to you. It took me a long time to forgive different people. It doesn't mean it's reconciliation, because a lot of people are like, oh, but you forgive, but you still no, because when I do think about that person, and you know, you remind me of that person does bring back bad memories, but I don't have hatred towards that person. So when that means I'm free. Like, I don't think about them. I don't wish them malice, I don't wish them harm. I just wish them, I wish that they find themselves and they become the human being that they should be, you know, because as someone, I can't be someone that is God-fearing and loves God, but don't want the best, you know. We'll make mistakes, we're all in this journey together. It doesn't mean I would want them back in my life, but I wish them well. And whatever it will be, because I know that I'll be blessed regardless, you know? I'll be blessed regardless. So
I hear you.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Would you say there's a difference between acceptance and forgiveness? Like, go on, if you understand what I'm asking.
I feel like acceptance is the first thing. You can't forgive without acceptance.
Okay, this is interesting. This is a debate me and my friend are having all the time. So I'm just, go on.
It's a process. You can't forgive without acceptance.
So acceptance is the first step.
It's the first step, because you have to accept that. You have to accept that person that you loved hurt you. You have to accept that person doesn't think the way you think, doesn't love the way you love. That person did what. You have to accept it. You have to accept the fact that person hurt you and you never got the apology that you received. You have to accept it. So when, you know, that's the first step, because if you can't accept it, you ain't gonna be able to forgive. You can't. You just won't. You just won't be able to forgive. Acceptance is the door, almost.
Okay.
To the forgiveness, and then the forgiveness is the process of accepting that you was hurt. It's okay to feel. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to feel like that person actually got to you. Sometimes we don't want to be like, we're like, nah, she's a bitch, oh, he's a whore, and we become this, you know, pride overtakes us. Acceptance is actually saying, nah, you know what, that person did hurt me. Actually, it's not like you know, you actually hurt me, like, and you resonate that pain, feel that pain. You're accepting that pain, you know, and that's what I'm saying. It's just, I feel like that's the doorway to forgiveness. It's a process, and it doesn't happen overnight. It can take a month, it could take years.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is for you to understand that process.
Do you think that the fact that you saw your mum kind of put the family on her back, do this, 3 jobs, support the house, like just superwoman it up, right? Because you've seen that. Do you feel like that impacts on how you interact in a relationship with a man, like partner wise?
100%. It did in my marriage.
Okay.
And my mum had
How
to
so?
my mum had to check me.
How so? How so? How so?
Yeah, it did even within my marriage. It did in my marriage, because it's good, and it was. But obviously, I checked myself afterwards. But it's not negative. It's just you being sometimes it's about being wary of yourself, because my mom's always taught me to be independent, and I've seen my mom independent. So independence was massive for me. So I done everything I was supposed to do. Like I went uni. I was working from the age of 16, like being like the eldest in the household, and because my older brother, as you know, but I was responsible, the oldest in my mom's household, anyways. So I had to grow up quite quickly as well.
Right.
So yes, I've always been like, it's almost like the support, like remember I'm a child of an immigrant as well. So my first job was an interpreter. So I've been an interpreter and a translator since I was 6 years old. So
straight up, I hear you. That's a lot of responsibility for a 6-year-old.
Like mummy, but yeah. But it's just, but the thing is, just a norm. It's just norm. You don't even think about it. It's just a normality. Like it's part of your, whatever life in a way. So you don't even think of it as abnormal. Only like when you get older. If I now saw like a kid translate, I'm like, oh my gosh. But that was part of life. So that was almost like a normality.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just gained a sense of independence, and my mom's always taught me to, always have your own, regardless type of thing. So I've always just been, that's just my mindset. So when I was in a relationship, I've always kind of had that at the back of my mind. I've always just, in a relationship, I always stuck to my goals of what I wanted in life and what I wanted to achieve. And that's always how it's always been. And it kind of did, like literally what I planned out in my life end up just unraveling. Because I've always said, I'm going to go to uni, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to get a good career, then I'm going to get engaged, I'm going to get married, and then I'm going to have my kids, and then I'm going to have my house. Literally happened. And within the ages that I said was going to happen as well. Okay. So by the time I was 26, I was married with child, with you get what I mean? Like everything, career, job, I had everything, like in a sense of what people aim to have. Or
what you spoke into existence. It came true. It came to what
because I had that just mentally. I just had that because that's how I was raised. Marriage was very important in our culture, and not having in African culture, not having like children outside of wedding lock was like something that was just integrated in my head like that. So just like go, literally how African parents expect you to live is how I literally end up, uni, career, marriage, babies, literally that's literally what happened. I had, and I was that. But I always say, there's that saying that if you tell God your plan, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, innit? Wow, so that wasn't the plan. So that's what I thought, but that wasn't the plan.
Well, it was the plan because it happened. It was the plan because it happened. It was the plan because it happened.
It was the plan, and it did happen, but it wasn't
the final version.
The final plan. Exactly. It wasn't the final plan. It was a draft. It was just a draft. So I can learn from. You know, when you
Yeah,
do
it's the
drafts, it was
lessons.
just
Yeah,
a
it's the
draft.
lessons. It's the
The
lessons. That's it.
lessons,
That's it.
100%.
That's it. All right. What was this? What was that? 'Cause
Talking
I
about
feel like you was
independence and
yes. So yeah, I feel like you didn't get to. I feel like you didn't get to give me the tell me. So how did that manifest in your relationship? That's what I want to hear.
just so in my marriage, for example, it's just I've always like had my own money, handled my own money. I felt like I didn't really need to ask for things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember one time, and this gonna sound very silly, like he would I don't know, like he would say, "Oh, do you want red?" He asked me whether I wanted red bottoms one time, and I remember we had like a gas bill to pay. The big, I'm like, we got a gas bill to pay. I'm like, talking about red bottoms. Well, maybe because I'm a bit of a cheapskate, because I'm like, I said, how much is that? 500. I said, £500 for some pair of shoes. I can buy I can buy 8 pairs for 500. So maybe because I'm a bit cheap, I don't know. And usually girls will be. I'm not really a materialistic type of chick. I'm just so not materialistic. So for me, I was like £500 for some shoe. And then I just when I say independence, I've always just got my own. So in a way, as a man, he felt like, what could I give? In a way, if you got a woman that's already like accomplished or beginning to accomplish and get her own and does her own, it's almost for some men like that is like, all right, now let's build together, and then you're both on the same journey. But in that situation, it's almost like, one, we wanted different things. I wanted to achieve them in different ways, so that kind of already put us in different spaces. And then two, I had to not to, because I know people don't like the word submit too much, but it's almost like I was too how would I put it? Like sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes just, not that you allow the man to be a man in a relationship, but you get
Speak
what
your
I'm trying to
truth.
say with
I
that.
know. Speak your truth. Don't try to dress it up and be nice about it.
I'm just
That's
saying, like,
facts.
I just feel like submission is important in relationships. And I just don't say just submission to men.
On
Sometimes
both
your man has
sides,
to
yeah.
submit to you in certain
Facts.
aspects, because it's a partnership.
Facts.
And it's understanding that, because in a relationship, there is power. Sometimes when there's a power struggle, conflict can happen. So when you understand,
definitely happen.
That, do you get what I mean? When you kind of understand that and be like, okay, know how to, know when to play your role, know when to submit. And, I know how to be partners when you guys need to be partners. When you learn that formula, you can. But we was like 24 years old is young.
Yeah,
now we're
definitely.
24, 25.
Definitely.
24 years old, like we were trying to understand all of that at that age, So to a certain extent, I kind of understand, we didn't have, but, and then it's just like I wanted to be, and do you get what I'm trying to say? That I needed to, and it's that independence, that headstrong, and sometimes those dynamics can have an impact in your relationship. So, but I got that from, and I think I've always never wanted to feel like I had to depend on a man. I just always like, I get my own shit. I got my own shit. That was my mentality. Not to be, and the thing is, it was never to make the person feel any less of a man, or me being above. It was just me. I felt like I had to always be like, I didn't like the feeling of depending on someone.
That definitely makes sense.
That's it. That was it, kind of thing.